What is up, YouTube? This is Stick Welding 24/7, giving you guys a better understanding of tungsten electrodes versus stick welding electrodes. Now, a lot of people get it confused. Tungsten electrodes are usually used for TIG welding, or what the old school welders call heli arc. You'll pop out a tungsten out of its holder. These are 1/16 electrode tungsten, and they are 1.5% lanthanated, which is better for your health versus thoriated. We see Chucky 2009 uses those thoriated tungstens, which is very, very bad for your health if breathed in over an extended longer time. One problem with that is that thoriated tungsten that he uses a lot more amperages versus lanthanated tungsten that uses less. So we have a 1/16 electrode here. You would use anything from 24 amps all the way up to 150 amps. In most cases, it'd be 140 amps for me because my stick welding machine can only TIG up to 140 and stick weld up to 140 because I don't weld anything in TIG mode over 1/4 of an inch or in stick over 3/8 of an inch. So all in all, it is okay to use a 140 amp welder and use the 1/16 electrodes and TIG weld. Now also, a lot with these inverter-based machines, every inverter-based machine I've seen except for the Everlast PowerArc 300 and the PowerArc 200 ST, PowerArc 200 with those 6010 ports, they are able to use 60p plus 5p. Oh, I'm sorry, 5p plus 6010 rods. Now right here I got some 7018 AC. Just because it says alternating current does not mean it cannot be used on DC. It also can be used on DC electrode positive. I know you guys can see it there. It's focusing in right now. AC and DC positive, 65 to 100 amps. So these rods do fit in range in my machine. The purpose of this video is to let you know that tungsten electrodes and stick welding electrodes are two different types of electrodes used in the industry as far as welding electrodes. Now, it's starting to warm up here in the States, and I'm going to be showing you guys a few TIG welding videos. I see a lot of them explaining how to TIG weld pipe and all this other mess, but they're not explaining amperages. They're not explaining the process it takes to sharpen your tungsten, get it to a point, and begin welding. They're not always explaining that you can weld tungsten. You can TIG weld tungsten rods. They're not also explaining that you can do it without filler material. You see a lot of them just use filler rods, when in most cases, if you're using a 1/16 tungsten and you got a piece of 11 gauge steel, as most of us welders call it, most industries call it 10 gauge, but 11 gauge and 10 gauge are pretty much the same, just a thousandth of an inch different. Pretty much is the same thing. You can just use the tungsten and weld the two pieces of metal without the filler metal. It gives off that arc and it melts and it fuses those two pieces of metal together. That's what's so good about TIG welding. It's also a cleaner material versus stick, where you get a lot of smoke. But if you get a lot of smoke in stick, you can use vacuums and fans, but you cannot use a fan on TIG. You have to use an exhaust system and have the air sucked up versus blown out. That's what she said as a little joke on the side. But this is Stick Welding 24/7. Stick Welding without the cost of welding school, and that was the comparison between tungsten electrodes and Lincoln's 7018 AC stick electrodes, 330 seconds. Peace out.